Let me tell y'all the story of how I ended up in California at 16 years old. I was staying in Tennessee. I was on the run. My son was with his father and their family because I was a minor. And they tricked me into bringing my son down south. So I did because I didn't want my son to go through what I went through. So when my mom went to the hospital, I went and got him. I was only like 14 years old. I was in a street gang in Chicago. So I got on a Greyhound bus from Chicago, and I went to Battle Creek, and his grandmother and them met me there and drove me back to Oak Ridge, Tennessee. From there, she had me selling drugs and running guns up to this old man's house when indictments was happening, using me as a little guinea pig because I was a young girl from Battle Creek, and I was down south where none of my family was, or I didn't know none of my family. Um, so I'm down there, and I was made to clean the house up and stuff, which I didn't mind. But she had other daughters, and her son and was making messes. Grown people was making messes, while the younger ones was there to be slaves to clean up after them. And if you didn't, the lady would hit you upside the head with a pot. Finally, one day I got tired of her. She tried to hit me outside, and I don't know how I beat her up on the hood, but I was only 14. I beat her up on the hood. 14 and 15, I beat her up on the hood. I ended up on the hood of the car, and I respect my elders, but I got tired of that lady. Then I ran away. I went to Knoxville, Tennessee to a runaway shelter, told them that I got pregnant at 12 and had my baby at 13, and that I was trying to find out if I could get emancipated, because in Michigan you can get emancipated at 15, 16. But in Tennessee, it's a whole nother ball game. You know what I'm saying? Every state has their own rules and regulations and their policies and stuff that they go to and go through and operate in. So down there, they feel like it's too young to get emancipated, so they put me in group homes, foster care homes, and I ran from all of them, especially when I got hooked up with one. The lady had a daycare, and her husband was trying to do it to me. I ended up doing it to the old man next door to her just to get some money to get out of Tennessee. But I ran from there, and then I stayed with some football players from UT State. For those of you who are in Tennessee, you know what I'm saying. I was staying with some football players, and they had a house dorm. And I was the only one that was in the extra room because I was going with this guy. He was from Oak Ridge. His brother was a football player for UT, which later ended up being a coach and was coaching my son in football. But that's a whole nother story. But anyway, so I was staying with these football players, and I started dancing at Pink Pussycat in Clinton, and then it was changed to Last Chance 2000 when everybody thought that in 2000 everything was going, the world was going to come to an end. That was a myth. Don't no man know the hour or the time or the day the Father is coming. But anyway, back to what I was saying. I was staying with them, and then they told me they had a gig in California, a hookup where I could dance there. So I went to California to dance. But really, God let me know this year that they had to have got paid for sending me to California. I was a piece of meat. I was sold into sex slavery, trafficking, way before. You know what I'm saying? And so anyway, I leave them. I pay $21 to go to Nashville, Tennessee from Knoxville to Greyhound. And then from there, I go to the TWA airport lines, and I pay like $300 for a ticket to from Nashville to Sacramento, California. And I ended up going to Sacramento, and a man came. Come to find out, he was a pimp. He owned Mustang Ranch in Nevada, which is a very known and wealthy hoe house. I knew nothing about it. I was a church girl. So anyway, like I was saying, he told me, he said, I gotta go get you checked out. I said, why? He said, because I have to make sure you don't have nothing. I said, what do you mean have something? I don't have nothing. He was like, no, where I'm taking you, you're gonna have sex with people, and it's legal, and you'll get the money and stuff. And da. So I was like, I don't think I want to do this. I changed my mind. I didn't never know this was for that. I came to dance. So it was like, well, I'll give you the weekend to think about it. So he took me to Oakland, California, where his sister owned a couple of houses there. And one of the garages, one of his old whores that used to be at Mustang Ranch, was retired because she's so old. She stayed in like the garage house. So anyway, we went and picked her up. She sat in the front seat, of course, because she was like a madam. And a poor pimpin' madam. Because when no man had me in no garage. Okay, especially if he owned the whole house. I just had a flash. But I just thought about that. That's crazy. But anyway, back to what I'm saying. So he picked her up and we went to casinos. We went to Reno, Nevada. At the casinos, I was there. I had one. I wouldn't tell him when I went. I had one off of what is it? Not it was a slot machine, but it was a truck stop in Nevada that we had went to by our hotel, and then we went into the inner part of Reno, Nevada to go nugget to the casinos. But I won $5. I had put into this machine. I left the rest of my money at the hotel and stuffed under my mattress. But I put $5 in there. It ate it up. So I asked this old man for $5, and it was a nickel machine game, and I won $119 and some change. That said call the attendant. Kept blinking on and off. When I was 16, I didn't know what that meant. So I was like, call the attendant, call the attendant. And it was like, no, you better go back by your machine or somebody gonna claim it. So I went back by the machine and I claimed it. And they gave me my money and I left up out of there. That was an old man that helped me. But come to find out, he was there with his wife. She had disappeared. And he was acting, you know what I'm saying? I thought it was just an innocent $5 he was giving me, but he was giving it to me because he had liked it what he seen. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So when we left from the hotel after the weekend, we went back to the hotel in Oakland, California. And when he came back the next day, I was gone. And then he came back later on that night and asked me, was I gonna do, you know what I'm saying, working in the Mustang Ranch? And I said no. So the next morning, he left me at the hotel, and I had a bag with all my stuff in it. It was a garbage bag. Yep, so I'm walking down the streets of Oakland in a garbage bag, but that's to be continued. I ain't gonna tell you all of it. You have to check out my book, From a Prostitute to a Prophetess. It's Teresa Graves, niece, Tanisha Graves. God bless you. Deuces.